A man sees something strange in the desert. A little distance away, a child is seen staggering, as if someone had deliberately left him by the roadside. Strangely, the child is chewing on something unusual. The man thinks it might be a trick of his eyes and decides it's better to return to the city. But after walking a few steps, he sees another child. Seeing no one else around, the man thinks the child may have lost his way in the desert. He goes up to ask if the child needs help. The child says he doesn't know where his parents are. Jeff feels pity for the child and thinks of taking him back to the city. But surprisingly, the child starts walking forward without saying anything. Believing the child is alone and scared, Jeff follows him. After walking for half an hour in the desert, they reach an area with no network at all, a completely deserted place. Jeff stops the child and gives him water from his remaining bottle. Little did Jeff know, this small act of kindness would mark the beginning of a terrifying nightmare. After drinking water, when Jeff tries to take him back, the child suddenly pulls his hand away. Initially, Jeff thinks the child is mischievous, but when the child behaves strangely, Jeff wonders if he might be mentally unwell. The child gives a mysterious smile and walks away. Darkness falls. Jeff wants to return home, but he loses his way in the desert and the mobile network is gone. Exhausted, he finds a cave to spend the night. Then, he hears a strange sound. Scared, he follows the sound and discovers a chasm-like valley. Approaching closer, he sees a house with lights on and a woman standing outside. Jeff feels relieved. He starts descending the ladder at the edge of the valley, but it's only half length. He is forced to use a nearby iron chain ladder, not knowing that this ladder will lead him into a nightmare. Jeff reaches the house and knocks on the door several times, but there is no response. The lights are on inside, so he feels someone must be there. Eventually, he goes directly to the woman and explains that he got lost in the desert and needs some help. Strangely, she does not answer, she just tells him to sit and have some food first. Jeff reluctantly agrees. Seeing her warm welcome surprises him, but when he looks into his bowl, he notices something strange. The woman eats with great enthusiasm, perhaps her mind is unsettled from being trapped in the desert. Jeff gives her all his food and asks only for a glass of water. Seeing Jeff eat with such delight, she refuses his request for a phone, saying she lives alone here, with no relatives or need for one. She explains that since it is night outside, it would be better for him to stay. With no other option, Jeff agrees. That night, Jeff cannot sleep, tossing and turning. The next morning, while the woman is still asleep, Jeff leaves a large sum of money and prepares to go. But as he reaches the edge of the valley, he notices the terrain is dangerous, and there is no visible path to climb back up. Only the chain ladder he had used the previous night remains. But now the ladder is broken, making it impossible to ascend. Reluctantly, he returns inside, but the woman is still asleep. He sits outside the door out of boredom and takes out his camera. While looking around, he discovers that everything in the house is strange. Odd paintings on the walls, a large iron cage in the back room, and even a sacrificial altar with a goat's head. The woman wakes and begins her work. Jeff asks about the chain ladder, but she does not answer. Deciding not to argue, Jeff helps her silently. Once the work is finished, she tells him that if he stays until tomorrow, he might find a way to get out. Jeff looks at the broken ladder from a distance and tries once, but climbing such a steep and high chasm is not easy. After several attempts, he gives up. He starts cleaning the dust and dirt from his body. Seeing this, the woman gets excited and immediately offers him water and to wash his clothes, which Jeff firmly refuses. He just wants to return to the city. She asks if his wife is waiting for him. Jeff, surprised, says he doesn't even know if he has a wife. When she learns that he is still single, she becomes more friendly. Night falls, but Jeff cannot sleep. He checks outside for the ladder but finds nothing. The next morning, he decides to take action. He takes a spade from a drawer and starts climbing alone. But the wall is so hard that moving an inch is almost impossible. Yet his hope to return to the city drives him to keep trying. Suddenly, as he looks up, someone throws a chicken from above. Screaming in pain, Jeff loses consciousness as the spade falls on his leg, severely injuring him. Seeing this, the woman comes running and treats his wound. Half a month passes. Jeff's body recovers enough for him to take a few steps outside. But the chain ladder is still missing. Angry, he drags the woman outside, demanding to know where it is. She stands bewildered but tells him she has cared for him. He checks his wounds and notices two boys appearing above the valley. He waves for help, and they ask what his problem is. Jeff explains that he accidentally got trapped in the valley and pleads to be rescued. They agree happily but don't have a rope. They promise to bring one. Jeff feels hope. Soon, a rope is thrown down. He ties himself carefully and begins climbing. But halfway, the boys disappear, leaving him hanging in midair. Desperate, he tries climbing with his hands, but the sun and desert heat make him faint. Someone from above pours a liquid on him. It is the boy urinating on him. Jeff hangs helplessly as they toy with the rope like a toy. He realizes the first boy he met in the desert is part of this group, a family or tribe that traps outsiders to play with them. Jeff screams for help, but the boys ignore him. Eventually, exhausted, they stop shaking the rope. Jeff hits his head on a rock and passes out. Night falls. The woman comes and advises him to conserve his strength. He asks who the boys are, and she warns that his suffering will worsen if he does not stay calm. Jeff is broken, screaming at the sky. The boys appear again, glaring at him angrily. After a month, Jeff accepts his fate and lives trapped in the valley with the woman. She gives him old men's clothes to wear and he begins growing vegetables. The boys continue throwing food, which Jeff silently accepts, adapting to this strange life. One night, he asks the woman if she has ever thought of leaving. She replies softly that everything she needs is here. Jeff shows her pictures of the city and a new life, hoping to inspire her. The next morning, he hears her scream. The boy he trusted is now hanging in the middle of the valley, dead. Jeff realizes all the boys were born and raised in this valley and trapped him to continue their tribe. The woman goes mad, attacking him with a wooden plank. 5 months later, Jeff is locked in an iron cage, insane and muttering. A girl arrives near the valley and hears him, promising to bring the police. For the first time, Jeff sees hope, but the boys capture the girl and kill her. Jeff is devastated. That night, the woman explains that he was just a tool. He has been kept alive only until the child is born, following their tradition. When she goes into labor, Jeff helps her deliver the baby. But the chain ladder is dropped again. Jeff rushes, but the boys are waiting. He sees the newborn girl. The woman smiles, saying the child will continue their tribe. Jeff forgets escape in the ladder, entranced by the baby. Darkness falls again, and Jeff's life in the valley ends forever. He was used as a tool and trapped in the valley for life.